Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to yet another episode of the Making Bank Personal Finance course. Today we're going to be talking about budgeting. So, what is a budget and why is it so important? A budget can be defined as a spending plan that tracks your income and expenses. This is important because it makes sure you will always have enough money for the things you need and also gives you leftover money for investments. The more you save, the more you can invest. And investments are one of the ways to truly become financially free. The consequences of not following a budget may include a lack of savings, less financial security, overspending, a higher likelihood of going into debt, and a torturous retirement. And not to mention the psychological stress you'll be going through. You may be wondering, how can we use a budget system in the real world? Let's say you have recently graduated with a degree in accounting and started a job that pays you about $4,000 per month. You finally decided it's time to move out of your parents' house. You and your friend decided to rent out an apartment together, and the rent will cost you $15,000 per month, including utility and expenses. You don't own a car, so you will take the subway to work every day. On the first hand, it seems like you will be able to afford the apartment rental just fine. But you have so many other expenses to take into consideration. Therefore, it's important for you to create a budget. In order for you to create the perfect budget for yourself, there are mainly two types of expenses you will need to consider: fixed expenses and recurring expenses. A fixed expense is an expense that occurs every time during a certain time. For example, your room rental, gym membership, and cell phone bill. A recurring expense is an expense that occurs regularly and tends to vary each month based on your decision. It may include groceries, subway fee, or eating out. Here is an example of a basic way of budgeting. Calculate your monthly income and map out a method of budgeting. The key point is to focus on a budget plan that will cover all of your needs and have enough money left over for emergencies and future savings. Let's start with the 50-30-20 rule as a simple budgeting method to get started. Let's say you will use 50% of your income for your needs. This will be your groceries, housings, and transportation fees. Next, let's say you want to use 30% of your income for your wants. This could be the brand new pair of shoes that you always wanted, new clothing, and even the new gaming station that just came out. Now, let's take the last 20% of your income to pay off debt or starting a savings account. Make sure to track down your spendings. You can do this by simply recording your spendings on a piece of paper or even a document on your computer. Microsoft Excel is an excellent software to track your spendings, but also to planning your budget. By the way, this video is not sponsored, and if you're watching this, Microsoft, please sponsor us. There are also other applications for you to track your expenses, such as Mint or Quicken. Don't be afraid to adjust your budget if needed. Your income and wants will always change over time, and so does your budget. This may include when you move into a bigger house and you now need to pay more rent. If you're looking for a more physical way of creating a budget, you can try the envelope system. Like it says in the name of the method, you'll be managing your cash using envelopes. Get a few envelopes and title a specific expense category on each one. This could be rent, coffee, or grocery. Then decide on how much money you want to spend in each category for the month and place the money into the envelopes. For example, let's take the $4,000 monthly salary again. You can put $2,000 in the needs envelope, $1,200 in the wants envelope, and $800 into the savings and the investment envelope. Another way of budgeting, if you want to allocate all your money to somewhere, is the zero-based budgeting. You will allocate all your money into different categories until you have zero by the end of the month. This way, it always separates your money into different categories. This time, let's take a $2,000 monthly salary. This is an example of what your budget may look like with the zero-based budgeting system. $1,000 in rent, $400 in groceries, $200 in gas, $200 in your savings and investment, $100 in insurance, and $100 in the entertainment category. Finally, and this is the key component of budgeting, you shouldn't see this as some type of punishment or restriction to limit your freedom to spend. Instead, you should view this as a way to improve your life for your future self. You are budgeting to improve your long-term livelihood, to be less stressed in the future, and ultimately become financially free. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to click on that subscribe button and like that video like all of our other viewers. Join us on this journey to become a smarter spender.